So how are these wait times? Have they gotten any better?
No, it's still down. They're not doing the queue right now. It's just totally down. The queue never really mattered anyways because it was just when
it doesn't matter what the queue says.
I know, it's just totally down right now. There is no queue.
Everybody will love hearing about how they can't play the game.
Is temporarily at capacity. You will join game in order which you are connected. For more information, please visit help.bungie.net. But I don't have my place in line. It's a blank queue.
Can we talk about how Q is the worst word in the English language?
Q is a letter, not a word.
In the reference you're using, it is definitely a 5-letter word.
Yes.
Which is entirely too many letters for what it sounds like.
I love the word Q because I used to work at Disneyland and I don't know.
Q-U-E-U-E.
Well, Q-U too.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 36 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk Destiny and our experiences in the game. We spotlight different guests and communities and talk about our experiences. This is Kingsley Mackinson. How you doing, Sin?
Superb at the moment. I had a couple rum and Dr. Peppers and feeling quite nice. Just switched my headset over because I forgot to before we hit that record button. And I watched a few Blacklists. So in this downtime and lull, I'm kind of chilling.
I know. I was going to say, as we're recording this right now, a pretty extended downtime for the game. We'll see when our podcast gets released where the dust settles with Destiny being down. But it's been down today since around 8 a.m. Eastern.
And specific.
And specific. That'd be what, 5? No, 6 to 5, 6. Yeah, 5 a.m. specific. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But yeah,
it's quite specific of you.
It's been down a lot throughout the day. There's been times where it came up a little bit, but it kind of reminds me of that launch day, but it's almost like worse in a way. So
I heard they're bringing back Sparrow Racing League because of this downtime.
Hopefully. They owe us that.
I thought they were just changing Destiny back to Halo.
Maybe. Well,
now's probably a good time to.
Yeah,
I was going to say we need to introduce. Yes, we should probably introduce the guest.
That's totally fine.
An esteemed ambassador of the Guardian Hub community, the best hub on the net. He also has a awesome song that everybody loves to sing.
Oh no.
ArmTheSharks. How's it going?
It's going all right. I recently moved. Haven't played a whole lot of Destiny since I moved, but it's down, so I guess it doesn't matter that much.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about moves. Moves are always stressful.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you on tonight. We're going to talk about all sorts of things.
I do enjoy some things.
Yeah, like what you have or haven't been doing in the game. But let's just talk about when you started playing Destiny. What was the first thing that sold you in the game, or a memorable experience you had at the beginning? Like, oh, this game is cool.
Well, I started with D1 and literally only played the base game, and then for D2 I started this February. I think what sells me on it, obviously the superhero complex is really well done in Destiny compared to other games. You don't really feel like you're that crazy in some games. But also kind of as an inverse, the game's actually difficult too. If that makes sense. You have to be the superhero your character is to make it through. Like, you weren't gonna save the Traveler or beat Gaul and all that stuff if you weren't as powerful as we are. So that and tied in with the lore. I'd say the lore is probably actually my favorite part.
No, that makes sense. Now, you said you played D1 for a little bit, and then you said you stopped playing?
Yeah, I only played base D1.
Base D1. Okay, gotcha. And that is an interesting topic because I know people that were in that same situation. Did you feel like, see, I started later on in the game, but did you feel like the base just didn't have a lot? So kind of why you moved on, or what did you think about the base?
Oh, no, I liked the base game a lot. I just didn't want to. At the time, I was spending a lot of I was in college and I wasn't working, like still in dorms first year. And all my money was going to like trading card games and stuff. And I, like I said, wasn't working. So I just didn't ever want to spend the money in the expansions.
So I should know this. I'm trying to remember, but have you not gone back and done any of that old content yet? Like any of those later raids in the game of D1?
I've not done any D-raid. I haven't done D1, any raid in D1.
Okay, I know this. I'm remembering now. I mean, I know a lot of people haven't. We ran through some of them with AR a while back, but yeah, we gotta run through them with you sometime too. Even if you don't have the full expansion of D1, I think it's like, I was looking on Amazon for like a friend. I think it's like $15 for the whole D1 package together. I'll just gift that to you sometime, like so we can raid, because I love raiding the D1 raids.
Yeah, I've heard that most of them are pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Crota is like a strike, but other than that, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, the Crota strike.
But it's a fun strike. It's a party raid. It's one of the raids we can just drink and screw around and have a good time, and you don't really have to think that much. Well, none of them you have to think too much.
No Shirochi Shine.
Yeah, right. Oh man, yeah, we definitely want to talk about that. No, that's cool. What other games do you like to play? I mean, we know, even though Destiny is our main jam, or at least on the podcast here, what else do you like to do with video games?
I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I play, and then I play a lot of like sports games. Like I play FIFA and I play NHL, stuff like that. And I play a lot of like PC games. Like I really like League of Legends and MOBAs like that.
Yeah, I tried playing League of Legends a little bit back in the day, and not enough to get into actually being very good at it or accomplishing anything, but it did seem like one that I could have gotten into in theory. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was still rolling, that it was still around.
Oh yeah, that's huge. But I mean, I could launch into a lot about that, but they had their 10-year anniversary in October, like the day before. I guess it would have been on your birthday. And they basically announced 10 new projects that they're making. So that's super cool stuff to look forward to.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they're making new games and stuff. But
it sounds magical to me.
Since we have a League of Legends.
Nothing to compete with Destiny, so.
I know nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing?
No. Titans aren't known for knowing things.
If you remember the TWAB, we only know how to smash.
Mm-hmm.
True. Bungie knows.
Yep. Or eat crayons in a corner.
Hey, as long as they taste like chicken, I'm game. I'm definitely game.
Hey, Titans are winning over Warlocks right now, so
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm going to give the results that we have so far, and we might get more responses. But last week's episode and in our Discord, we have a survey of who has the best jump, and I'm actually kind of surprised it's this much of a win. I mean, because even though I'm a Warlock main, I almost voted for Titan. Can you believe that? Because I even admit at times the Warlock jump is annoying. But anyways. 52.4% by a large margin, Hunters are taking the win.
Because of course.
And then Titans are next at 28.6%.
Oh my goodness.
And then Warlocks are at 19%. So Hunters have about half the graph. And Titans and Warlocks are close to each other, but still Titans are more than Warlocks. So. Anyone, if you haven't voted for that yet, I'll keep it up for a little bit longer and feel free and vote.
I should have voted. It might have swayed more towards Titan then.
Then Hunter,
Does
I
your
think
vote
you'd have
count
to.
for more sin?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get quite a bit more. And I'm running this. I could cheat and put in a bunch of Warlock votes, but
Oh no!
obviously I'm not because
That's such a Warlock thing to do.
Right? That's such a Warlock thing to do. No, the Hunters are the rascally ones. They're the cheaters. The Warlocks are the Brainiacs, and the Titans are trans in the corner.
Like Helios saying he was going to make like 30 accounts and vote for Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just think of Hunters as like the sneaky little rascals that steal stuff and run away.
Or just shoot their golden guns when they should be shooting tethers.
Yes. Well, when I Hunter, I almost always run tether because it is so fun. And don't you think it's useful running tether inside of Shirochi?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. So why don't we all do that?
Because we don't get the DPS any other way without golden gun.
Oh, man.
That's not true. You can use... I was watching Chevy, right? He was actually in-game when I was struggling to get in-game earlier, and I couldn't even make it in. But he was running effects offensive.
Favoring the popular people.
But then he got booted and couldn't get back in, so he did fail on that aspect. He was using, I believe, the Arc subclass. I didn't really get to see much of the loadout, but I will say he was using Liar's Handshake, shotgun, and he was basically dodging and meleeing people and one-hitting everybody, and that's all he was doing. Shotgun, melee, dodge, shotgun, melee, dodge.
Oh, it was probably the 1-2 punch.
Yes.
Top 3 Arc Strider build. I think it's top 3.
You don't need Golden Gun to be viable. You just need to punch like a Titan.
Oh, yeah, no. I'd argue that Golden Gun probably is the least viable, and that is just my favorite.
Well, there's some interesting changes coming to all the solar subclasses, which now might be a fun time to talk about this. Sin, do you have it all memorized? What the changes are coming with solar?
I mean, I pretty much read it almost verbatim from the TWAB and Destiny Digest, but I didn't really know what some of that actually meant, to be quite honest with you. I do know there was a lot of buzz for hunters out there.
Kicked off the show.
With the throwing knife now. And apparently there's some people buzzing about that. I think
soccer's new favorite thing in the Crucible.
Right. It will be his new favorite thing. The one that seemed to stand out the most, I don't really pay too much attention outside of Titan. The Warlock seemed to be probably not so much. I don't really see a lot of viable changes there. I mean, they are changing some things with the way the in-air Icarus dash works and the air superiority role of the one tree. But I think the middle tree Titan is probably going to be the most viable after the change. They seem to be buffing that in a pretty significant way overall.
Yeah, I'll agree with
okay.
that.
Well, yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. You probably just don't understand Warlock that much. I do feel like these are going to be some good buffs here because
said no Warlock ever.
No, says the Warlocks that I usually don't run solar, but now I'm going to be interested to try it again.
Probably not. You're still going to be tied to the handheld Supernova, and you're still going to be running Void.
Well, see, that's why they're doing this next season. Is I feel like there's times where, like, yeah, obviously this season Void, but with some of those perks potentially going away when they reset the artifact. But we'll see. But there is
that's a good point.
Brand new perk that they're adding called Celestial Fire Melee. Send a spiral of 3 explosive solar projectiles. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what that's like. I remember in D1 when you had the 3 split Nova Bomb, that was pretty cool. So obviously this isn't going to be a Nova Bomb, but I think it'll be still pretty cool. A melee that shoots out 3 explosive solar things. So that'll be.
That is like the only benefit.
No, that's the new thing. And then Icarus Dash with the Wings of Sacred Dawn is receiving a 15% damage resistance when you're floating in the air. So they're making, we kind of talked about this last week, but this is going to get me to want to put on those Wings of Sacred Dawn again and float in the air, kind of like an Anthem, and just kind of stay in the air. And when you're shooting from up there, you actually have more damage resistance now, which is pretty darn cool. So that's a good
isn't there? Didn't they say in the Warlock changes too that while you're using it's either that exotic or that subclass, but you're free from most of the accuracy changes to it being in air? Like you don't have the downsides of being in the air that most Guardians do?
I think so, yeah. I was just looking at the couple points that were heat rises. So when you consume your grenade to extend your glide time and dramatically reduce the in-air accuracy penalties for weapons.
Okay.
That has been
through the Warlock changes.
Yeah, so that was always the issue, is when you were floating in the air, even though it's easier than a normal jump in aiming of weapons, it was still hard to like lock onto stuff. But now you're going to get even easier capabilities there. So I think it sounds pretty cool. And then the Icarus Dash dodging. So Icarus Dash is really the only thing that Warlock has that's similar to a Hunter dodge, because you don't have to just do it in your super. That's the fun thing when you're in your super and you can float across the whole map. But when you're just on the ground and doing Icarus dodge, it's like a Hunter dodge, but it's just to the side. You just have the one option. But dodging now in Daybreak accelerates players farther and costs less super energy while under the effects of that. So it's kind of been buffed there too. So who knows? I mean, you could be right, Sin. I'll try this for like a few days and be like, oh. But it was a much needed buff to get people using these more. Do you think you'll be doing your Titan duties more for what they're buffing there?
No, I probably will never use that regardless.
But Burning Maul has increased from 21.2 to 28.5 seconds.
I know. It seems, I was listening to the Destiny Massive Breakdowns today. I finally, I cleaned out all of my podcasts in queue. I kind of needed to fresh start that. So I listened to a bunch and then deleted some back episodes I couldn't listen to out of everybody I was subscribed to. I'm sorry. It just had to be done. I needed to clean it out. I needed a fresh start. I suck, whatever. But I think they said it best. With that particular subclass, it is still slow. It is hard for you. I would say you cannot, but I would say it's hard for you to actually chase down people while in that super. It is super slow. Typically, when you hear the Burning Maul sound in Crucible, you can typically have time to run away from it. So in Crucible, I don't think it'll be still viable. PvE, I could see it being a little bit more viable with additional timing there. They're increasing the explosion range, I believe, of the heavy attack, and the throwing hammer of that particular tree. You don't actually have to get as close to the hammer to pick it up. So a little bit, you have a little bit more of an advantage for using that particular one, with whether it being ad clear or damage. I think the vert can still be out there as far as damage numbers to a boss, or if you're going to be close enough to be able to use it on a boss. But we will see.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that they're doing this. We have something to try. They haven't gone so far to say we're having a solar week, but they called that one thing an arc week a while back, so they might as well call this one.
This is basically solar season.
Solar season, potentially, yeah. Well, I'm even excited for your throwing knife, the new weighted knife. High damage knife throw with a long windup. Yeah. What do you think that means? Because like we were talking about before the show, but you were saying it might be weird if you have to wait a while to throw it.
Yeah, it's kind of unprecedented. Like, they haven't had a melee that has too much charge time. I mean, so I said that before the show, thinking about it. I guess handheld supernova, sort of. So I guess it could be something like that. But I guess the animation's obviously going to be different. But, I don't know. I don't know. Like, they haven't ever done anything like that for the hunters before, as far as I'm aware.
Well, they have now one hit precision final blow in PvP, so Titans aren't the only one. What about warlocks, huh? Where's the one hit?
Handheld Supernova can do lots of damage.
That's true. I remember in D1, if you're one helmet, what was it, the Ram? You could one-shot melee some people depending on their damage resistance. And a lot of people are salty about that. But nowadays we have the Titans, and now we're going to have the Hunter. Now this does say you have to get precision hit, so at least it takes some skill.
And it's also bottom tree, which is 3-shot, which is significantly less useful in PvP typically. Because you're typically running 6-shot, because there were 6 1-shots. It's better than 3 1-shots. Quick math.
Yeah. And of course, though, they do say the 3-shot, we've increased the auto-aim distance reliability. So it has a better long-range accuracy, and the 6 shots is just more of a short-range accuracy. But so I think that's a good trade-off.
It's going to be really frustrating not one-shotting with that in Crucible, if that's what it means.
Oh, for the 6 shot?
I'm going to hit somebody at max range, it's not going to kill them. But all right, quit. We're done. We're tiny mains now because we can shoulder charge. I mean, I'm effectively haven't played much in the last 2 weeks, so what's the difference?
Speaking of the Titans some more, did we even, we don't always use a lot, but did we talk much about the One-Eyed Mask nerf, Sin, and your thoughts about it? We did a little bit, right?
I think we might have covered a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's getting a hard nerf like some of the other products on the market, as I like to say. It's just reducing or removing the overshield aspect to the exotic perk.
Yeah, and some people may think that's not even enough. They want the
recharge.
Well, they want health, wall hacking,
the tracking gone.
The tracking, that's what they want. Yeah.
The rest of it, sure, fine, whatever. At least make it faux trace. At least change it to the same way Foe Tracer is, where you have to. Because One-Eyed Mask Titans get tracking if you shoot them, but Foe Tracer only gets tracking if you shoot the person. If the person wearing the exotic does the damage. So, as a Titan, you can just run around and then track people just for being in a bad position or something. You're rewarding unskilled play, potentially.
Which is good for me, so I don't hate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I did throw it on when I was playing comp the other night with our buds over at Drunk Destiny. I was playing with Dizzy, and I ended up throwing it on, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not very good, so I might as well take every advantage I can to curb the other a-holes, I would like to say, using it. Because I wasn't using it for a while, so.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Iron Banner coming back next week again. I mean, we knew it was going to be a little more time. Let everyone have fun in that. I don't care. Let's move on.
Well, the only benefit is going to be the pinnacles, the pinnacle rewards for the power chase.
That is true. Iron Banner is the easiest way pretty much to get pinnacles. It's kind of funny how... I guess it makes sense. It comes around about once a month. And so might as well make something else to make it worth it. But it's kind of funny how easy it is that compared to everything else of needing to run 100k Nightfall or run the dungeon or raid to get pinnacles, which are way harder than just doing a little pleb bounty, which they're a lot easier this time around for Iron Banner. But it's all good.
I do enjoy some pleb bounties.
Some pleb bounties, yeah. So Iron Banner's coming around. I wanted to talk really quick about there's a Destiny cookbook now. What is this going to be, Shaq's fried chicken and
ramen?
Yeah, I know. Cade 6 ramen. Shout out
Rip.
Rip. I know. I don't know. I mean, I'm interested. I'm looking at the front picture here, and there's a picture of some fried chicken. There's some hush puppies in the upper right-hand corner. It looks like some bread or rolls in the lower right-hand corner, and some coleslaw in the lower left. So, and there's the Sunshot hand cannon above it. I just noticed that.
Because they're cooking it with the Sunshot.
$34.99. I don't know. Probably won't be running out to get it, but maybe.
That's a couple bucks, yeah.
I'll expect someone to screenshot the pages so I can see what it's all about.
Right.
And then, of course, we had the sword recently. I know you, Sin, gave up your code because ain't nobody want to spend $150 for that sword, right? 160, whatever it was.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's expensive. I still have nobody that has reached out for that code yet. One, I'm assuming that way too many people already got it. Or two, nobody else wants to spend that kind of money. But if you are out there, I actually have mine, and I had somebody else in the community offer up their code. So I really have 2 codes to give up if anybody wants it that doesn't have it.
I mean, honestly, Sin, it is pretty easy to pass the dungeon. So that's
I know, but what if somebody wants a second because they want a sword fight at their house? I mean, I don't know.
Then they are wealthier than I, sir.
and myself. I mean, let's be honest here. But yeah, hit those DMs,
if people want to do that, more power to them. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but
it's like a real physical sword.
No, it is a foam replica.
It's really physically foam.
Now, to be fair, I know it's going to be a good quality hard foam, and if you look at it up close, it is very well detailed on the outside, but still, it's not any kind of hard plastic or metal. It's actually just foam, whatever that means. And I could see it does look good when you look at it close up, but I could see maybe if they were offering it for like $60 to $80, you could get twice as many people to buy it as are now. I mean, you still don't want to like offer it at like 30 because then that's like
you want to make a profit.
You want to make some money, but 150, 160, that's like I don't know.
It's a yikes.
There's a difference between expensive and too expensive.
Yeah. I hadn't heard about this at all.
Yeah, we need to get you in the dungeon. It is really fun.
That would require me to be 950 or something.
No, the dungeon. What are you? What do you know what your light level is right now?
925.
Oh yeah, you probably want to be like at least in the 940s.
Yeah.
But well, let's talk about, you said you haven't played for a couple weeks. That's all good, but like what have you been doing this season, or what have you enjoyed about Shadowkeep so far?
Wait a minute. Before we get into all that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've asked, and the listeners have to know. Where did you come up with your gamer tag?
Okay, so...
And what are we arming these sharks to do?
What are we arming them to do? Kill Sabathu. I think that's the thing. So, back in like 2015 or something, I hadn't had a PC, and I stayed with the summer with my friend Tom, and he had a computer, and I downloaded a game called Smite, which is just another MOBA based on like different mythologies and stuff. But anyway, I had to come up with the gamer tag, and prior to that download, all I had ever been was NateDog1190. Was my So prior to that, and I didn't want to use that name. And earlier that day, I had just been like scrolling on Facebook or something, and I saw this picture of like a Tumblr post, and they were talking about, and it had a picture of a fish that sharks normally eat and a surfer, like from the shark's point of view, so it's just a silhouette blacked out. And it was like, this is why sharks attack people on surfboards, because it looks like their normal prey and sharks' eyesight isn't good enough. And so it just goes on, and the whole post is talking about, well, only if there was a better way for sharks to interact with something rather than literally just biting it. And so, like, it just went on. It was just #ArmTheSharks. So I just stole it, essentially.
Nice.
So you're saying you like
really
sharks?
long-winded way to say that I just, like, saw it online.
Either that, or I was going to say it was a really long-winded way to say freaking sharks with freaking laser beams.
Yeah.
I guess I could have gone that way, too.
All right, now you can continue on to what you've been doing besides Destiny.
ArmTheSharks is a cool name, more interesting than Big Nate Dog or whatever you said. I forgot already.
Nate Dog 1190.
Yeah, gotcha. Let me guess. Is that your name then? Is Nate?
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, you can now dox him.
Yep.
But yeah,
I've
what
totally
have you?
not posted my Facebook on Discord.
I know. We'll have to remove that. What have you been doing in Destiny this season, or what have you enjoyed, or what do you wish was different? Tell us about your thoughts of the game right now.
I've enjoyed like I said, whenever I started like getting into the game and everything, the lore being a part of it. So like the Shadowkeep lore is really interesting because like I don't know if anyone before they spoiled it really expected them to go into anything quite this serious. And then having Eris Morn back with all the things that like haunt her and all that, like it's super interesting. So I think that's really cool. That's really spot on. As for what I've been like the activities and stuff I've been doing in game, I like the new strike until I've done it about 4 times.
Have you done
the nightmare hunts?
There's 2 new
I like
strikes.
the nightmare hunts a lot.
Oh yeah,
the Shadowkeep strike, like the actual high.
Yeah, that one gets a little boring to me after I've run it a few times too.
Oh, you're talking about the other Vex one.
I'm sorry. I just like mentioning that because not a lot of people have gotten it, and it's to me it's like 10 times better than the Shadowkeep strike.
Yeah, I like that. The Shadowkeep strike is just, it feels like it takes forever.
And it's the Nightfall this week, and people are trying it on Master, and it is crazy.
Ooh, y'all have fun with that.
I know.
Not catch me doing that.
But go on. Yeah, the Nightmare hunts have been pretty cool. I mean, you Omnigul is in the base Destiny, right? I'm trying to remember. Because again, I came later in the game, but
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't remember now too.
But I remember my boy Fogoth.
Yeah, Fogoth. Yep.
Literally
so what do you think about going back there?
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Like it just made me think back to like how bad I was at D1 whenever I would play because that took us forever. Doing Fogoth was an adventure to say the very least.
We need you Sharks to, because remember you were asking at one point, what is that strike? Because you were trying to remember what it was. And you, like where you have to like go in this, I forget how you were saying it, and then we finally came up with like you found it out.
Took us like it took us like 2 hours talking in Discord to figure out what it was.
Yes,
I watched an entire playthrough of D1 to try to find it, and didn't see it in there just because it was a strike. And then you just remembered what it was like an hour later.
But we need you to ask more questions like that. What's that one raid where you go way down and it has to do with the Vex and we eventually say Voltiglass so that Destiny can bring that back too?
Good point.
Oh, man.
I'll get right on that.
There you go. Except we said it now, so it doesn't count.
Who's really weird? You never learn her name and she gives you a gun.
I know. There was rumors, I feel like, of her coming back even before Shadowkeep came out.
That's like the least explored story. It makes no sense at all.
We need to find out soon.
There's this random person that you've technically never met. We don't even give them a name. We give you a really worthless gun that we turn into an exotic later because we realize how bad it was. But also, we never speak of it ever again.
Yeah, I hope, even in the TWAB this week, they mentioned I believe it was the very top. Let me just scroll up to there. The impact of your victory has not been made clear yet, but in time you will learn more about how this will further evolve the world as we transition into the next season. Okay, Bungie, this is your make it or break it moment. See how these seasons will merge with each other and new storylines will present and how everything's going. Because if we don't get some cool story or at least advancing something here, then it comes back to my skeptical point of like, okay, now do we have to wait a whole year? And everyone says, no, we're going to find out more soon. With each season, we'll find out more story. But
soon, TM.
Will the more story just be well, the Vex were invading us. Now the Hive are invading us. But what does it really have to do with the Triangle ships? Nothing. Wait till next year to actually find out about that. So we'll see.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys. This is, it's not that hard of a turn actually. It's on par with stuff that's kind of disappointing in this season from a story perspective. How do you guys feel about the Vex final assault? I was talking to my friend about it yesterday, and he was really disappointed because it's just a different boss apparently. And there's no new storyline for it or anything.
Yeah, you want to go on that first, Sin, or?
You know, it was uneventful, to say the least. I think it is nice to change it up. The Vex offensive, it's only for this season, so now we're into the final 2 weeks, roughly, and it's going to be all the Undying Mind, which you need to go for your triumph for Undying, or the title for Undying. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are saying this boss, and I've noticed it, is easier than the last one. So it wasn't anything special overall. Again, referencing the Vex offensive that I saw earlier when Chevy was running, they pretty much one-phased it. I think they got it all, and I'm sure he's already one-phased that boss, but they got the health bar all the way down to like just a sliver. So as soon as the shield popped on the second phase, he was done. It is pretty easy. I know there's a lot of strats out there and a lot of people that just grind hardcore and can do this stuff in one phase. But even noticing, like with myself, who has never one phased it yet, that just the differences between the two, it is noticeably easier.
Mm-hmm. See, I was talking to a guy that I know, like IRL. He's not in our clan or anything, but he plays Destiny, and he was talking about the final assault with me yesterday, and he was like, he's like, I've never not one-phased it. Like, apparently, like, I didn't think it would be that easy. And I also thought that was kind of the culmination of what the season was leading to. So I expected, like, more story out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so yes, it's a little easier. The main thing is they should not have made this a calendar item saying final assault. Like, this was not worth having a calendar item letting us know. They should have just kept it quiet. And then when it happens, it happens. Sure, that's nice. The boss changed, but this was not worth really even talking about. There was nothing that was added. The boss is easier. The boss has the same overshield. It's even the same height as the boss before it. They didn't spend a lot of time. There's a few new lines from the ghost and everything. Even when you go to Ikora's portal, it just doesn't even look any different. They didn't even put like any lights around it or anything. It's like,
her portal is still not finished, even though the story of it is that she was finishing it so we could do the final assault.
You could say it's kind of finished, because if you look in the Vex offensive, it looks about the same. It's not fully. Maybe you only need.
But there's still like people welding and like
off to the side. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on there. It's a good point. But
they're trying to make it more stable for more effects mines.
Are we expecting too much? Is it fair to criticize?
No, we're not. It is totally fair.
And that's what I was going to say. It feels really like, oh no, we have to give them something. Here you go. This is the first thing we found in the fridge. It's probably barely edible, but there you go.
And
had to feed the community something. Like,
I'm always positive on the game, but like, it's totally fair to, it was just stupid that they made this any expectation at all when it was going to be something that small. Is basically what I'm saying. They should not have made it a counter item. And
like, to me, the forest event is a bigger thing than the final assault. Like,
totally true. The haunted forest, yeah. What else? I was going to say something else about it too. Okay, so when we were speculating what it's going to be, there is anything from the super hopeful, but probably not going to happen. We were hoping, maybe they'll bring the D1 strike back, all the way to, okay, there'll be some new boss and it'll be something fun there, but it was even less than that. Now, leading up to it, yeah, go ahead.
Go on, sorry. Is there like the rewards different or anything?
No.
So it's the same thing with the different boss.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
We should have known because leading up to it, if you look at the Triumph screen, one of the Triumphs does say kill the Undying Mine in the Vex offensive. So I guess that meant there was no hope to ever have a strike all along. That's fine. But in the Vex offensive, they could have like made the battle different, or they could have had him be
like
something
a different
that comes,
area or something. Or
yeah, that might be asking a little too much. Even what I think about, like, I don't know how much programming time they have, but even like just make the fight, the mechanics be a little different, or have him come out after the other boss and have it be an extended thing, and more adds like like a multi-phase thing. You kill the one boss and then oh no, then he's coming out after that, and it's all exciting, and there's like two of those minotaurs on the side and one of him in the middle, so it's like a multi-boss encounter. It's like, nope, they didn't do anything like that. They just, he comes out, he's easier than the other one. Same type of shield thing.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a little disappointing, but that is okay because many people still have things they're working on in the game. I will like to ask you, Sin, what you're working on in the game, but I do want to add really quick, I feel accomplished because I now have my Undying title.
Nice.
I can breathe. It was a pain. I don't know if I'm doing this next season.
Lies. You will do it next season. Don't lie.
No, I honestly, the thing that I realized too, it's like, saying that I have it, was it worth it? I can't really say it was worth it.
Now that you have it, you say that, but when you look back and see that you've got a ton
no, well,
of titles.
Here's the thing. I also have Dredgen, and that one definitely wasn't worth it to me.
You had to play Gambit.
Oh, I never popped Dredgen on. I would way rather have Wayfarer. Wayfarer was the one I rocked all the time. Now I'm rocking Undying just because it's, I guess, show-offy, and it's the new one, so I can...
It's what's in.
It's what's in style.
It's fetch, bro. It's fetch.
Yeah, but what are you working on these days, Sin? Are you still working towards your title, or what are you working on in the game?
I mean, I would have been working on it tonight had I been able to log in. So, again, I mean, it's just for me. I was working on the Blacklist, catching up on episodes game tonight, and got 2 under my belt before recording. So, I would say it's nice to have stepped away and I can relax. Because after a while, it does start feeling like a job almost. A job that I don't get paid for, unfortunately. And but I enjoy it. It's just there is a lot more to do, and I'm close. I'm 12 of 14 for that title, and it's
so what
coming
do you have left to do?
Void, melee, and grenade kills on the moon, and then I need all of the pinnacle rewards. So I have the strike, everything for the strike playlist to do, and I'm almost there for Randy's. And I'll need the
Gambit, right? Yeah,
the Gambit's done, and I need that Nightfall that everybody's been complaining about.
So that actually is a fair amount of stuff. So hopefully,
it's not really a lot when I think that I'm 12 of 14, though. I mean, I'm that close.
Yeah,
I mean,
for one
I'm
of those,
like,
it's like
8 out of 10
together.
on Unbroken, which is close. But then I look at what it is, and it's not that close. So.
I mean, I'm 8 of 10 on Unbroken, and I'm 2 away from Chronicler too.
Like, well, I'm 2 away from Cursebreaker.
I'm probably 0 for
33 eggs.
I'm 0 out of whatever for the Crucible, and I don't know.
I'm sure you got a couple.
You probably have 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, probably. You can just not try and get most of them. Really, it's especially for me. It's the
got to Recluse.
Oh yeah, I have Recluse. I've gotten some glory and whatnot.
Are you guys saying that you don't want to grind for your not forgottens?
Not me. I don't know about Sin.
You know, if my glory gets up there when I'm grinding for Randy's, because I'm trying to knock out the last 2 parts of that darn thing, the medals and the glory, because I didn't really do any of the glory at the beginning of the season. If I got up and I shot up to like 3,000 or higher pretty quickly, I might consider it, but honestly, no.
Yeah. Because you'd have to do Lunas first as well.
Sin, what would your opinion be on next season for the new title? Do you feel like it should be a little bit less involved, or do you think this was a fair grind, even though there was a lot to do?
Do I think the grind was fair? Yeah, I think overall it probably was fair. Nothing was super unobtainable. I do think some of the stuff was a little bit excessive, to be quite honest. They did Timegate, the one with the Vex, the Undying Mind. I honestly think, I think they did lean a little bit more towards excessive in some areas, but it was super obtainable. The Master Nightfall, that was a little bit ridiculous, hiding something behind that when you have to basically play tons and tons in order to get your artifact up to level to be able to have a chance, or be able to get your pinnacle rewards plus that to have a chance. I think stonewalling one of the rewards for the collections tab was a little ridiculous, but what are you going to do? I think they could come off of it a little bit next season.
Yeah. Especially when the Master Nightfall doesn't really even seem like it's a seasonal thing.
No.
And it'll be interesting if they have that requirement again next season. That will really push the issue on what's going on with power levels. And if we are increasing power levels, then I would assume the Nightfall would have to increase also to keep it challenging.
We're gonna have 4-digit power.
Well, I mean, we gotta know here something soon, because if they aren't going to keep raising the power level, then this whole artifact thing is even more silly, in my opinion, because then we just reset it each season. And then what was the point of grinding for pinnacles, really, when I guess we have a whole year to go 10 power level. Okay. And then every 3 months, and every 3 months, our artifact resets. So it's like the Nightfalls will always seem hard at the beginning of the season and then easier at the end of the season. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but
that's one thing I'm okay with, because it artificially simulates the seasons like Diablo 3. With Diablo 3, you can participate in the season. You can use a character you already have. You what they call reset, and you start over from scratch, grinding up your level. Now that one is probably on the
totally more from scratch.
Yeah.
Zero. Okay.
You start at level 1, you grind to 70, and then you just grind out your I forget what they call it. It's kind of like similar to like a light level, or it's Paragon level. Mm-hmm. But you start with nothing. You start the season with nothing, and you just grind.
You get nothing. Good day, sir. Yeah, that is interesting. I don't think we're getting much information the week where this podcast will get released, because they even said in this TWAB that the week of Thanksgiving, they will have a small TWAB released on Wednesday. So we have to wait 2 more weeks, basically, as of when we're recording this, to find out more information. And even then, who knows when we'll get it. But soon, I want to know what's going on. When does
this season end?
Just right after that.
We're in right now.
We have 2 more full weeks after this week of reset. So,
and we know nothing about something that's coming up that costs people money. I don't know.
Well,
about
somewhere between.
Because, like, you can buy the seasons, what I'm saying.
I know, yeah.
We have 2 weeks before knowing, and we know nothing about something that people might.
We have 2.5 weeks as of recording this, and yeah, I know we don't know much. We don't know anything other than if you bought the deluxe edition, you get it included, and if not, it's $10 for the new season.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's kind of how it was before. I seem to remember, when thinking back, that the trailers would only come out a week to a week and a half to 2 weeks at most before. So
we'll probably get something like in a week.
Yeah, except that it's Thanksgiving next week, so everything's quiet. So, or this week when you're hearing the podcast, but probably after Thanksgiving is what my bet would be on that first week of December. get information either way, whether it's a trailer or in the TWAB that week.
Yeah.
Still waiting for it. Still waiting.
Sharks, the people need to know. Do you
What
consider
else do
yourself
people need to know?
a Gen Z or a millennial?
It's Z.
Boomer.
Z. All the way.
Z. Z, 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 Z.
Gen Z. For
Gen
our
Z.
over the seas listeners. I'm inclusive. Come on.
You're right on that border. You can pick either way.
I know. I said Z.
Well,
you're an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah. I know. You don't want to be like those crazy old millennials, right?
Right.
The millennials that don't do anything. Oh man.
We are the millennials who don't do anything. Pirates who don't do anything.
Well, I'm glad we now know you're a Gen Zer. It just makes me think you're even younger then.
And we did, and I think we did confirm, Kingsley, that you're a boomer, right?
Yeah. I distinctly remember this.
Yeah.
A boomer, but he's younger, but still boomer.
I mean, if I'm a boomer, then Sin's a Gen X for sure, and then you're a millennial for sure.
Oh, no.
Oh, we have good fun with that at times. What else do we want to talk about the game, or should we go on to some other miscellaneous talk? Anything else we've been working on, or things we're looking forward to? Nope, nothing. That's fine.
All I heard was crickets. Sharks was like, you know what? I promote you guys on
Destiny anymore.
You guys on Reddit. I play. I do a thing. I shoot shiz. I don't die. You know.
Yeah, I'll open the subreddit and read the first thing, and that's what we can talk about.
Hey, we hope to see you in the game soon again, Sharks.
Yeah, I'm just glad that you do the Reddit thing because I certainly do not.
No, yeah, you've been a great ambassador for us.
We had 8 people join that day.
It felt like more than
All right.
that.
All right, we'll talk about this. You can still die while having the Undying title equipped. Literally unplayable.
I know. What are they thinking? I can confirm. I've died since I have the Undying title.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is why I can't play this game. Just
Or the other one is the reason why the game's down right now is because we must not kill the Undying Mind times. Ikora did warn us. We have to kill the Undying Mind.
we didn't kill it in the timeline that we're in. Yeah. So the game is over. We're just gotta wait for Destiny 3.
It'd be kind of awesome in a way.
Ooh, no, we can go the Kingdom Hearts route. Destiny 2.5.
2.5.
Destiny 2.5 awesome. Rebirth.
Even though people are mad right now, the game's down, but if the game comes back up and we get to the tower and it's all trashed, there's Vex mines all floating around and we have to kill them, push it back through the portal or something.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know. Something like that would never happen.
Don't raise people's hopes like that either.
I know.
That's not gonna happen.
Now I just checked. There's now the queue is re-enabled. The queue placement is re-enabled.
Ooh, what number are you?
692.
69?
2.
2 69s?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Wow, that's pretty
this will be a live podcast where we update you on queue placement in the Destiny 2 server.
Oh, that'll be so exciting for the listeners. I'm going to see what queue position I'm in. But while we're doing that silliness, we do have to ask you, Sharks, please tell us of a dessert that you like.
Have you guys ever heard of sopapilla cheesecakes?
Not that. I've heard of sopapillas, but not cheesecakes.
Did you just say onomatopoeia?
I mean, it kind of sounded like.
But do tell.
So, I'm going to Google it real fast and see if there's another name that's more widely known.
While you're doing that, my queue position is 1,274.
It's better than the 11,000 plus that I was at on PlayStation earlier.
It's funny because these queues don't even really matter when it's down. They can vary.
That is what it's called. So I'll just pull up the recipe, kind of.
Yeah. So what is it?
You for the most part what it is. Well, if you guys know what sopapillas are, it's kind of like that, obviously, but you're just putting, like, making a cheesecake mix in the middle instead of them just being like hollow or filled with like honey or whatever.
Okay.
They're super good. I actually have a story about it. My parents were friends with another family, and we did go hang out and eat at their house all the time. And they would have fish fries a lot. So we went over there, and my mom had made this sopapilla cheesecake thing. And as far as I knew, she had never made it before. So no one knew what it was. And since we were at a fish fry, the entire night people just kept asking her what kind of fish it was, even though it was very obviously like cheesecake and a dessert. So we've just called it dessert fish my whole life. But I figured if I asked you guys if you knew what dessert fish was, then you'd just be like horrified. Because fish is not
or
dessert.
Perplexed, yeah. No, I haven't heard of that one.
This dude is named after sharks and eats fish for dessert.
I mean, I do like a good seafood, but never
I
heard
totally
of dessert fish.
Yeah, I totally had to pull up the image search on that one. And there's one that kind of looks like a like one of those peanut butter bars where they have like the gooey middles. But the first thought when you said that was the cream filled donuts. Is kind of what I thought at first.
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
far
they're
off.
not donuts, but it's not a far off comparison. It's just like cheesecake with like
dough around it, right?
Dough, yeah, like just sweet dough around it, essentially.
Pillsbury Doughboy. You heard it here first.
Sounds interesting. I'm definitely willing to try it.
They're super good.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have that than... Like, that's what I would get on my birthdays.
Yeah, I never wanted just typical cake on my birthdays.
This reminds me, I have to beg them to make Thanksgiving now.
Well, I don't know if your queue is going down soon. Not going down too much. So we probably shouldn't let the listeners wait.
No.
Maybe
it went down 3 and then back up 3.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when the servers are having problems, it's like, guys don't even care about the queue. It's just whatever happens. It's probably not even accurate. But the latest I read, actually, they put out another tweet. Again, this is probably all silly when you listen to this, listeners, after the fact. But it was even getting extended. At first, it was getting extended till 10, and now they're saying at least 11, which it's now 11 now for Eastern. And it's still down. So we will see if by tomorrow morning, which as of we're recording this will be Saturday morning, if it is up by then. Hopefully.
Hopefully. I plan on being home by then and then playing some.
Yeah.
A lot.
Are you not at home?
Well, I'll maybe work. Yeah, I'm going to be working
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
you'll
no,
be back
gotcha.
for the evening.
Yeah, I'll be back
by
by the
evening.
evening.
I have not been paying much attention.
I was honestly, when I was saying it, I was staring at the Jade Rabbit figurine because I was going through when you said they just tweeted out. I was looking through the tweet history, and I totally started staring at the Jade Rabbit figurine, and it's only $25. That is worth $25.
Yeah, but is it made of feathers?
I don't care what it's made of.
Actual rabbits?
Is it made of thin plastic that melts?
PVC. So you might be able to smoke it. I don't even know.
I'm down
For $25, you can get a Jade Rabbit. 7 inches of it.
Okay. On that note.
I really want to get my Thorn figurine. Oh,
yeah.
Like that's something like I actually want. I think those are kind of nice.
Those the like replica weapons,
Mm-hmm.
they are super tiny. I did get one, and I was unenthused.
I knew they were small.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fun evening of talking about stuffed sharks. It's been a pleasure having you on. We are going to have to do this again sometime in the future.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say or plug, or do you just want to plug yourself and move on?
Be sure to plug yourself.
I mean, I don't really have very much. I'm not like active streaming or YouTube.
Well, you're in our Discord. Do you have? I mean, again, it's just ArmTheSharks in case anyone doesn't know. ARMTHE. No, come on, guys. You know what it is.
His social security number is 8675309.
Do you do anything on Twitter?
That'll never get old for me. I'm sorry.
What?
Do you do anything on Twitter?
My Twitter is hockey game related, so I don't think it's super relevant.
All right. Well,
people to talk about hockey, but it hasn't taken off in this server.
Actually, here's the thing. Before we close off, I am going to my first hockey game tomorrow night.
Ooh, what are you gonna?
So,
who are you seeing?
The Utah Grizzlies. They are part of. Let me see which league they're part of.
Groupon.
Yeah, totally.
Now around my area, hockey is big for DC. So, and I still have not gone to. I've not actually gone to see a hockey game in person. I would like to. I heard it's a good time.
The ECHL, Western Conference Mountain Division.
The ECHL, yeah.
The reason
that's
why
like
I'm going,
the third tier. There's the NHL, AHL, and then ECHL.
Okay, yeah, we have a pro soccer team here, but yeah, hockey, I guess not as much, but it'll still be fun. The college I went to has an alumni party every once in a while where they just get you into different things. And this year they decided to do a hockey game. Getting good seats, all paid, food. We get like a $10 voucher and then a little party afterwards. But yeah, it'll be cool to check this out.
We'll have fun.
I'll let you know how it was afterwards. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Sharks. What other housekeeping do you have? You don't have any new reviews, so thanks for all the reviews we've gotten in the past, everyone. And feel free and leave us one if you would like. It helps us get found on iTunes easier, and we will read your review on the air, even if it promotes Sin and not me.
Lies. More lies.
More lies. Hey, I read all the reviews. I even tell the surveys that say hunters are winning instead of warlocks.
What's the link again? I need to fudge that a little bit.
Don't say that on the air, Sin.
I still have not voted, so.
Well, you should do that.
For Hunter.
That is a no from me, dog.
You should do that.
Warlock, because Blink is the best jump in the game.
Yeah, I still got to use that some more. Well, Sin, where can people find you?
You can find me all around the interwebs at AKA Gear Dad.
Really?
No. it felt right.
I follow him.
Right. He's a good dude. You can find me on twitch.tv/SynMedia. Sin is CYN. Typically that crispy once a week, typically Saturday nights, where I have a little fun. I drink, I listen to music, and I play Destiny, the only mistress for me. You can also find me.
You might see him fall asleep.
And no, I don't do that streaming. If I'm off camera, yes, absolutely. I almost did it again one other night, and I'm like, it's time to go. You can also.
By the way, Link fell asleep last night when we were playing with him. But go on, Sin.
I think he fell asleep about a week ago too when I was playing with him.
Shout out to Link. We love you.
Link, much love. Sleep it off, dude. Sleep it off. The grind is real. And you can find me on Twitter at Sin_media and over at Destiny Digest, where I read the TWAB. I get down low and hit that TWAB once a week. Now, Kingsley Mac, laser beams on that shark. Take us out.
Right on. You can find me as Kingsley Mac in the Discord, in the game, everywhere but Twitter. On Twitter, I am MC Kingsley. You can find our lovely show at theguardianhub.com. www or not, you will find us. And on Twitter, we are The Guardian Hub. So please follow along. Please join our Discord if you'd like. We have many great people in the Discord that like to help out and have fun conversations.
It's the best hub on the net.
Yes. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in one more week, and talk to you next week. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye. Is this going to be 2 weeks in a row where our guest does not say goodbye?
I said goodbye. Or I said see you.
No, you didn't. Your noise gate, you got noise gated.
Oh, well. It's fine.
It is fine.